The Walt Disney Company seems to have finally gotten the message from families all over the world. They're pulling divisive content from kids' entertainment, this time in particular from a Disney Plus Pixar show. But this goes far, far further than you would ever think. Will the backlash from the left sink Bob Iger and his new Disney vision? And is it time for us to declare victory? We have to do a very careful dance as we talk about this, for obvious reasons. So as I read this, please just note that I am reading it in a way that allows this to be sent out to the most people possible. So, understanding that I am a major proponent of free speech and free discourse, just understand that I am doing what I am doing so that the message gets out to the most potential people possible. Pamela McClintock is the author here. It's out of The Hollywood Reporter. And Jonas, my understanding is this was exclusive to The Hollywood Reporter. Is that correct?
That's true. But as soon as the word got out, even more information started coming out, and we have that information.
And we're going to go there. And I want to congratulate you, Jonas, on pulling that because, well, it sends our coverage to an entirely different level. But Jonas, what I want to ask you about is, as we're reading this Hollywood Reporter article, there's some speculation that Disney itself sent this to THR in order for them to carry the water for Disney. What do you think about that?
I think that that is a very good theory, especially considering how perfectly the statement is formulated here. It was almost as if they said exactly what the conservatives would have wanted them to say. Okay. So this was well crafted, and I would love to know who in Disney sent this to the Hollywood Reporter.
And I just want to say to the powers that be, whether it's ad partners, whether it be YouTube, maybe X, wherever we are being listened to, folks, wherever you are hearing our voices right now, I just want to remind them that I am literally reading from a Hollywood trade magazine online with the statements coming from the Walt Disney Company. So, I'll do my best. Pixar's original animated series, Win or Lose, will no longer include a particular storyline in a later episode, The Hollywood Reporter has learned. Folks, if you are just listening as if this is a podcast, you might want to look at the screen to know what we're saying, what we're reading, because we're having to avoid a little bit. The series follows a co-ed middle school softball team named the Pickles in the week leading up to their championship game. Each of the 8 episodes centers on the off-the-field life of a character and their point of view, whether it be a player, a parent, or a coach, or an umpire. A spokesperson for Disney confirmed that the story arc was removed and provided the following statement to THR. Now, you'll notice that THR doesn't say that they reached out to Disney. They just say Disney reached out to them. That's odd. That's not usually how this happens. But this is what Disney said. When it comes to animated content for a younger audience, we, that is Disney, that is the corporation, we recognize that many parents would prefer to discuss certain subjects with their children on their own terms and timeline.
Preach.
Jonas, this is almost verbatim what we have said on this show. And as one of the premier places to get information about Disney and entertainment with some of the highest viewership out there, I just have to think, Jonas, and I'm not saying that in a braggadocious sort of way, I'm just suggesting that maybe Disney got the message. And I would suggest to Disney that we have other messages for them because we intend to help them, because we wish for them as the holders of vast mythos and cultural icons important to America and beyond. We want them to succeed by going to the middle, to the center, by returning to universal values and to a family-friendly source of entertainment. This sounds exactly like what we have been saying for 2 years. It is exactly what we have been saying. Jonas, I'll give you the first stab at this one. Have we won?
Yes, absolutely. There is no other way to interpret this except that Disney has finally bent the knee to reality. I'm not saying that we are the reason that they won. It's just amazing that they are saying the exact thing that we have told them for years.
Exactly.
Now.
Lauren, play devil's advocate if you can. Are we falling for the trick again? Like, is this Lucy with the football?
I wouldn't necessarily go that far, but it's definitely too early to declare this a win. They've said something. They've made one modification. Now let's see if they're going to be consistent doing that with all their other shows. My suspicion is that they're still going to do what they said before, which is that there are some areas of their entertainment empire where they will sprinkle this stuff in, and there are other places where they will start pulling back on it. And I think that they have been hit with the fact that sticking it in children's entertainment, especially young children's entertainment, gets them in pretty hot water. So they're backing off there. Are they going to back off on the teen stuff? I'll bet probably not. So I'm interested to see what they do going forward.
Well, I feel the same way. I'm exactly with you. And I just want to remind people that what we have been suggesting is that Disney, when they insert this into children's content, they damage themselves because even people on the left, so it's not just the right, it's not just the middle, it's people on the left. They want to have the opportunity to decide when they're going to have this kind of a talk with their kid. They don't want to do it because they went to a movie and it was there, and now instead of getting a Happy Meal and an action figure, they're having this conversation with their 3-year-old. And they don't want to have their 3-year-old or 4-year-old sitting in front of Disney Plus and all of a sudden they're answering this question. That's the fear. Let's read on. The character remains in the show, but a few lines of dialogue that referenced gender identity, I'm going to say that, I think we're safe saying that, are being removed. A source close to Win or Lose said the studio made the decision to alter course several months ago. Disney declined to comment any further details. I'm going to say that the several months ago, I got a hard time believing that. And the reason I have a hard time believing that is because the whole world changed last month. And I just have a hard time believing that Disney changed prior to and not thereafter. But maybe I'm wrong. It's not the first time the company has come under scrutiny for alphabet storylines, particularly regarding its animated content. In 2022, controversy erupted both inside and outside of Disney, following former CEO Bob Chapek's much criticized response to Florida's, and The Hollywood Reporter still uses the propaganda name for it. You got to stop doing that, THR. It destroys your credibility when you do that. In June of that year, Pixar's Lightyear included a same gender relationship and smooch, which also sparked controversy. And by the way, the reason it sparked controversy is because Pixar went out and protested Chapek because he said, we're not going to do that. And then Pixar went out and protested it and got it back in. And that was the beginning of the end of Chapek because he didn't handle the situation correctly. But that wasn't where he messed up. Where he messed up was caving and being weak. Disney's animation Strange World, which featured another similar situation, opened several months later. Both films failed to perform domestically or overseas, earning just $226.4 million and $73.6 million, respectively, at the global box office. And guys, if I'm just doing quick numbers on this, we generally assume that a Pixar film needs to make $500 million to break even. So that's about 250. And what would that other number be right there?
It's actually 600 million according to IGN's expose on what happened within Pixar in the production of Inside Out 2.
So what's the loss there, Jonas? If they needed 1.2 billion, this is easy. They needed 1.2 billion to break even with the two movies, and they made 300 million. So that's a $900 million loss on two films.
Well deserved, considering the quality of those films.
Well, beyond that, they're just not good movies. Gender has become a charged and divisive topic across the United States, especially around youth and sports.
We're going to talk about that.
Most recently, Disney Channel's animated series, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, made headlines after some who worked on the show took to social media to say that Disney banned the release of an episode. We covered that. Thatparkplace.com covered that. What's amazing, and I don't think it's in here, some vigilante, it seems, by our estimation, some vigilante went in and released the episode on YouTube before it was taken down. I guess, these people feel very strongly about it. Disney has continued to face alphabet content, Disney has continued to feature alphabet content in its more adult-focused fare. Notably, Marvel Television's Agatha All Along, Searchlight Pictures' All of Us Strangers, Next Go Wins and Fire Island, and FX Pose, among others. I just want to say, Agatha All Along had no viewership. And I don't know what these other things are. And I follow Disney. I mean, this is literally my career. My job is to know Disney. I have no idea what any of that stuff is. So that tells you how that did. The studio is far from alone in grappling with potential fallout from politically charged content. Now, this is what's interesting. They are now, THR and the trades are the mouthpieces of the corporations. They're now declaring that this has been politically charged content. They're classifying this as politically charged content. And we have always suggested that when you insert this into small children's content, it is clearly a political and ideological metastasization, taking things that should not be in content that can go to kids of every possible background and belief system inside their families and their homes and sneaking it past the front door through their TV cable and Ethernet lines. I'm glad the trades now admit this. Folks, we're just about done. We'll get more of thoughts from Lauren and Jonas right after this. The decision regarding win or lose comes as Disney's film empire, led by Alan Bergman, is celebrating a major comeback at the box office, led by animation. Pixar's Inside Out 2, released last summer, has grossed $1.7 billion globally to rank as the top-grossing animated film of all time, while Disney Animation's Moana 2 has likewise shattered numerous records. We'll come back to that. Earning more than $725 million to date as it heads for the $1 billion mark. Oh, ho, ho. Egg is about to be on your face, THR. How can it be that THR doesn't know that Moana 2 is probably, almost definitely going to fail to hit the $1 billion mark, and that it absolutely should? Inside Out 2 is a 7 out of 10 film. That's what we gave it here. It is the highest grossing animated film of all time. Adjusted for inflation, it's not, but that's okay. We're not going to take the record away from it. We're not going to rain on its parade. Just to say that Inside Out 2, we have heard that it also was scrubbed of divisive content in order to make that happen. And if that had not been the case, then I think it would have been down there with Lightyear territory. All right. I'll get quiet and ask the panel. And this time, let me go to Lauren first. Lauren, give me your thoughts on what I've just read. And then Jonas has some exclusive stuff. It's not exclusive to us, but it's pretty darn exclusive to whoever has released it. And it's amazing. Lauren, your thoughts.
I think that they are definitely feeling the pain. They've been under some close scrutiny for a while. I'm sure the investors are starting to turn some pretty serious screws because Iger made some pretty big promises to the investors to stave off the proxy battle earlier in the year with Nelson Peltz. And I don't think he's been able to deliver on those promises. And I think the investors' patience has run out. That's why you're seeing some of this. But they still have an entrenched workforce that is going to be pushing this agenda because that's what they seeded all of their departments with. It is not going to be easy to extricate it, and there's going to be people attempting to sabotage this at every turn. So give them kudos for making this statement and for making some course corrections, but don't give them the trust yet. They have not earned that until they have a sustained record over time. And if they do have people doing things like leaking episodes that they had decided they weren't going to air in protest, you find those people and you make a public example of them. When they start doing that, maybe they can start regaining some trust again.
The other tricky thing about this is that for years, we have been unable to even cover this topic whatsoever. It would remove you from the digital town square. Your voice would cease to be heard. Yet here is a Hollywood trade declaring that this has been and is political content. Here we have a situation where the Walt Disney Company, which is what we cover, is saying that parents should get to decide when this content is introduced, when these ideas are introduced, and what the introduction should entail between parent and child. This is the kind of stuff that would strike us from any ability to ever speak online 2 years ago. And yet here we are. And so it's going to be very interesting to see now Now that the corporations are declaring this, that makes it part of the A-OK orthodoxy of you can say it online, one would surmise. But I don't know that.
I don't know that yet.
Stuff.
Yeah, we do have some stuff. Let's
stuff.
let's talk about this. This is from a Twitter account called Lost Media Busters. It is the entire removed scene from Pixar's Win or Lose. There's some music on it, but I don't think there's anything in that music that is actually worth playing. So, Pro, actually, why don't we? I'm going to mute this tab, even though I think I'll still hear it on my end. And if there ends up being any dialogue, we will play it here.
All right, this is Jonas. Real quick, well, you can play it because there's no. I just want to say this is one of the more. We're taking a shot on this because this is the animatic of what would have been, and But
Right.
so I just want to be very clear, Jonas. Who is the one who is posting this on X?
This is Lost Media Busters that is posting this on X.
Just a reminder: Lost Media Busters is putting this on X. Just a reminder, folks.
So whoever this is has tried to decide what bathroom they're going to go into and has chosen the girls' room. And while in the girls' room, they're seeing different things in the mirror than what their face appears to be, and also seeing a boy symbol, like a restroom boy symbol in the mirror, and then runs out.
So this is literally gender identity inner conceptualization.
Oh, there is actual dialogue down here at the bottom.
Yes, but we're not going to play it.
Well, no, there's no audio. There's just the script down here. Are you heading in, girl? Yeah. Rochelle saying, "Are you heading in, girl?" Wow, cute headband. Catch you at the game. Some other person coming in just to wash their hands, offering to help. There you go. You'll get ants in your cast.
What's the age range for this show, Jonas? What were they aiming for?
I don't know, but I will say Pixar and Disney have not done a great job with this stuff that is supposed to be straight to Disney Plus. They have not been specific about what the age range is on this one. The Baymax show that was on Disney Plus, that was aimed at 5-year-olds. That was specifically aimed at 5-year-olds, but that was the one that included a guy, and I always get pushback on this, but from a story standpoint, from a narrative standpoint, you have a guy who develops an allergy, and it becomes an allegory about him accepting that he's gay and needs to ask out a guy. Kind of reads as if he's allergic to not being gay. It's so weird. Or also in that episode, Baymax sneaking into a little girl's restroom where she is experiencing menstruation for the first time. And despite the fact that Baymax presents as a boy robot, he enters a locked restroom, forces his way into a locked restroom and locked stall to have a conversation with a little girl about all of this. So Disney has no judgment.
It was beyond bizarre. I agree with you. So, folks, if you're just joining us, what this is about is that Disney has come out and said that they believe now, the corporation, the entire corporation of Disney. So you can say then that that's Star Wars, that's Marvel, that's Disney Animation, that's Pixar, that's every part of Disney, because they just said, we as Disney, they now believe the entire corporation, ESPN, ABC, they now believe that it is a parent's right to decide when they're going to introduce this stuff to their kids, and what the parents want to say about it to their kids is that parent's responsibility and right, and Disney's not going to get involved in this. That's why they're saying they pulled this. And as we said before, it is bizarre that there's nothing in this article that says that THR discovered and THR reached out. It's just Disney reached out. And that's a weird way for this to ever get out. It makes us wonder, did Disney want this out, put this out to THR to start moving back to the middle? And one more time, I just want to read this. We got to read this, folks, because this is exactly what we have said And who knows? Maybe they'll decide next that they don't want to destroy the rivers of America at Magic Kingdom. Since they're going to stop doing dumb stuff. A spokesperson for Disney confirmed that the story arc was removed and provided the following statement to The Hollywood Reporter. When it comes to animated content for a younger audience, we recognize that many parents would prefer to discuss certain subjects with their children on their own terms and timeline. Now, I just want to say to everybody watching, we're not here to tell you what adults should do. If you're an adult, you do whatever you want to do as an adult, so long as you do not infringe on the rights of others. We're not here to engage in policing your behavior. What we're here to do is tell a corporation, a giant corporation that controls so many of our cultural icons and mythos and the cartoon characters that we love, that leave it to the parents on these kinds of divisive topics. And it looks like that's exactly what is going to happen. Victory. Thank you. All right, Jonas. Wait a minute. Lauren reminded me I can't say victory until they actually continue to do this as a pattern. Darn it.
Well, I do need to point out this character is still here. They have not quite changed the dialogue. So they have changed some of the dialogue. They haven't actually changed all of the character. And there is plenty out there that is, this is not, for the diligent parents, this is not me as the guy who goes through all the woke stuff, giving you permission. If you're looking for my permission, whatever you're doing in your life, do what you want. But that does not mean that Disney Plus does not have a bunch of garbage on it right now. So,
here's something to think about, Jonas. The Pro Show is coming up this Thursday. And as of right now, we have Smash JT scheduled to be there to talk about his current situation. Disney is going to be a very interesting topic on the Pro Show come Thursday, because if you think about it, Disney in the last 24 hours, they have settled with Donald Trump, President of the United States, to the tune of $16 million. And the other corporations, the news organizations, are furious like you would not believe. Disney has also settled something like $230 million with the workers at Disneyland for wage theft. And now you have the situation where Disney is doing this thing that is going to enrage like you have never seen the proponents of this being in kids' content. I am going to look forward to covering the backlash that is about to happen. There is going to be a very strong backlash because Disney is moderating. Whether there's a great, I don't know, but that's what's going to happen. And folks, can you not wait to see what Sunny Hostin has to say about all this? I can't wait.
And where is she going to film it? In the Robert A. Iger building.
There you go.
Wilton, you know you're not allowed in the kitchen. And, it smells like burning dog hair. What are you doing in here?
Well, I got a DM from Slade Wilson on how to roast Jonas. I mean, I didn't bother reading it, because I already have the perfect plan.
Wait a minute. So you're challenging Slade?
Well, not really. It's more like what Caffeine Kennedy and Kevin Feige do to Disney. A tag team of destruction. Plus, we're also making sure that everyone knows to subscribe to WDW Pro this Christmas.
Well, I appreciate you helping Pro, but doing one good thing does not make up for both of you doing a bad thing. Pro's making sure everyone gets accurate information and stays ahead of the culture curve, but, oh man, what is that smell? You're not really...
Oh, yeah, no, I'm literally roasting Jonas in the oven. I mean, it was kind of confused when we were going with that line of questioning in the first place.
Roasting someone's a figure of speech. You don't actually cook them. Somebody. Oh my, hang on, Jonas. Well, I hope you're happy about what you've done this Christmas, Wilton. You almost ended Jonas.
On the brighter side, he looks great with that new tan. I guess you could say I gifted him a nice complexion.